Alrighty. Oof. Hold on 1 second. Okay. There we go. We are on part 30 something. In the last video, I ended up like cutting the video out kind of early because I ended up like clicking something or pressing something by accident, and I didn't feel like editing it, so I just cut the video early. I didn't. I thought there was a lot of good information on the last video that we were like talking about. Just a lot of good stuff in that one. So if you didn't listen to that one or watch that one, definitely go ahead and do that because just kind of like looking at like all the stuff that's going on now and then looking at back then and just seeing the pattern of stuff where you have things being kind of either lost deliberately or intentionally, but you get like just kind of undiscovered information almost, or rediscoverable information, where you can kind of pick apart back what well, I guess like what was missing. Like for instance, a lot of stuff that came into like into Europe in the Renaissance era was originally in like Arab, right? So a lot of people like they didn't know about stuff like I think of stuff about alchemy too, until like they had people from Europe getting information over there and then translating back. You know what I mean? That's an example of just like information being lost, or just kind of like rediscoverable, or like in that sort of sense. But in any case, we'll just get started with these Egyptian dynasties of Manetho, who was the, I think one of the dynastic Egyptian scribes or something like that. I forget. Maybe he wrote about Egypt as a Greek. I forget, something like that. I forget all these names, but well, this is in Greek, so that makes sense. Probably Greco-Roman author. Alright, so this is the dynasty of the demigods. So the first dynasty. The first of the Egyptian kings was Hephaestus, who reigned 724 years and a half and 4 days. So I'm thinking maybe this is Ptah, and this was like maybe an old way of saying Ptah, because like I was saying in the last video, I was kind of like trying to find the names, like, oh well, why don't they use the name that we have now, which is Ptah, and then the Greeks, they always kind of refer to Typhon as Set, who is the brother of Osiris. But they call him Typhon, which is like more Greco-Roman. But Set is like originally Osiris's name, but they never use it, So I think I'm just gonna maybe safely assume we can use the AI, I guess, for this video and kind of maybe check that out and dive into that. But let's keep going. The second was Helios, the son of Hephaestus, 86 years. Okay, so this is like again another renditioning of the sun or God or whatever you want to call it or what have you. But this root here, I think maybe the original meaning, because if you look at like Akkadian, they use like Elu as a word for like gods and stuff like that. That's where you get the word like El in in like I guess the Bible and stuff like that, and like other Akkadian texts, you get that. So this might be like an old root from like those words, and it makes sense because that word typically means like shining or bright ones, and Helios, I mean, it only makes sense, and it's the son of Hephaestus or Ptah, I'm assuming, which is I'll have my assumptions, but 86 years. The third, Agathamon, who reigned 56 years and a half and 10 days. Okay, so we know that's Cronus. Oh, wait, no. I guess they're separated in this one. Huh. Interesting. Well, I don't know. I'll have to like look into all that and stuff and whatnot. Okay, so then we have the fourth, which is Cronus, 40 and a half years. The fifth is Osiris and Isis, 35 years. The sixth is not known. The 7th is Typhon, 29 years. And then after is Horus, the demigod, 25 years. Okay, so maybe there's like a cutoff point, and then Typhon rules, and then Horus rules. But okay, so I don't know. Maybe they didn't have the account of like Osiris and Isis and Seth. I think where I think Seth slays Osiris and then is like reborn, or the son is Horus and stuff and whatnot, and that goes back to that. But maybe they didn't have that, and this explains maybe this like kind of spacing, and then you see Typhon, and then you see Horus. So I guess this king's list kind of like aligns with the information that we do have today accordingly. So that's actually really interesting. Okay, so the first dynasties of the kings of Egypt, from Syncelus, Mestre. So these are not the demigods, and they're denoted maybe as not. So Mestre, who is Menes, Mesraim, who is Menes, he reigned 35 years. The second of the Egyptian kings was Kurotes, 63 years. The third of the Egyptian kings was Aristarchus, 34 years. The fourth of the Egyptian kings was Spanius, 36 years. Two others, the fifth and sixth Anonymous, 72 years. The seventh of the Egyptian kings was Serapis, 23 years. The eighth of the Egyptian kings was Sesonchosus, 49 years. The ninth of the Egyptian kings was Amenemes, 29 years. Okay, well, I don't really have much to say because I'm not really it's kind of hard to like keep these kind of like in. I have to like maybe start taking notes on all this stuff, but I don't know. It could be important to do that. Maybe it couldn't be important to do that. Maybe I can just refer back to these YouTube videos that I make for this type of stuff. But I already take enough notes as it is. Okay, so I think this is the biblical word, right? And then this is Menes. This is the first Egyptian king, non demigod, or whatever you want to call it, non supernatural, whatever you want to say. But he possibly could be. I'm still kind of like on the fence of whether he was or wasn't. Still up for debate, you know. Just because like the more of the supernatural stuff happened more in legendary times, that doesn't mean it still can occur in like classical times, in ancient times, in medieval times, and such. It's always gonna like exist. So that's just something to keep in mind. So like when you hear like somebody like, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw like a random shot out there in the dark, Abraham Lincoln, you know, maybe you hear legends of him being a demigod or something like that. It's very well possible. It's just we don't consider that, because it's like, oh yeah, if that were to be, it's going to be mythological and it's going to be legendary and it's only going to be folklore. But I mean, honestly, who knows? I don't know. I just say Abraham Lincoln because I went to Mexico City one time and I saw like a bronze statue of like Abraham Lincoln, and I was just like, why here in Mexico City is there a statue of Abraham Lincoln? Didn't like I don't know. I don't know why there'd be a Lincoln Memorial. It was so strange to me. If you ever go there, it's in the Colonia Roma Norte. There's like an Abraham Lincoln statue, and it really, really caught my attention. I know there's like some Greco-Roman stuff there, but that kind of goes without saying, honestly. That's more like that neoclassical stuff that everyone draws to and whatnot. But I mean, Abraham Lincoln, like, that's more contemporary of like the Mexican Revolution and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know my history, I guess, about that. So, what do I know? In any case, yeah, enough of that. We'll continue on to the Old Egyptian Chronicle. Among the Egyptian, there is a certain tablet called the Old Chronicle, containing 30 dynasties and 113 descents during the long period of 36,525 years. Now this, according to the stuff that I've been kind of like looking into, makes the most sense. This kind of puts it into place for me, logically speaking, and where I'm assuming where they want to start it, and why it's 36,000 years. It's just, I think it goes back to like something in a very far ancient past, but I think all I can just say for now is that like Egypt wasn't colonized until 36,000 years ago. I'll say that. The first series of princes was that of Arete. The second was that of Mestrains. The third of Egyptians. It runs as follows. The reign of the gods, according to the old chronicle, to Hephaestus is assigned no time, as he is apparent both by night and day. Helios, the son of Hephaestus, reigned 3 myriads of years. Then Cronus and the other 12 divinities reigned 3,984 years. Next in order are the demigods, in number 8, who reigned 217 years. After these are enumerated 15 generations of the Cynic circle, which extend to 443 years. The 16th dynasty is of the Tannites, 8 kings, which lasted 190 years. I feel like I read all this already. Did I already read all this? Oh, maybe I did read all this. Huh. I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at my stuff, because I guess this is all like kind of like, I know I read all this. Am I just having like, oh, these are like part tablets? Okay, I'm getting confused. Okay, so this is from Manetho. Why are they written twice? Dynasties of Egypt, the first dynasty of the demigods. So we already know this, right? And then we just, am I having like deja vu or something like that? Horus, the demigod. Yeah, and then it like cut off right here. I guess we'll go back here, but I know we went over all of this stuff in a prior video. I know that for a fact. Why? What the heck? I swear we read all this. I know we read all this because I remember looking this up. Huh. Okay, well, we'll just kind of like briefly look at this real quick. I don't know. That's weird. This is kind of a refresher, I guess. I don't know. We already read all this for sure, but I guess we can start after Horus, right? And then Ares, the demigod, 23 years. And then Anubis, the demigod, 17 years. 11th, Heracles, the demigod, 15 years. 12th, Apollo, the demigod, 25 years. 13th, Ammon, the demigod, 30 years. 14th, Tethys, the demigod, 27 years. 15, Sosus, the demigod, 32 years. 16, Zeus, the demigod, 20 years. Okay, well, it just fits Zeus right there. That's interesting. Okay, the Egyptian dynasties of Manetho. The first dynasty, after the dead demigods, the first dynasty consisted of 8 kings. The first was Menes of Tynite. He reigned 62 years and perished by a wound received from a hippopotamus. Second, Athos, his son, reigned 57. I'll read that footer right now. Hold on. What the? Oh my goodness. Well, they do this thing where they're doing the, okay, so they're doing the Greek and then Armenian, which is like Latin of some sort. I'm not going to look at that. We can just kind of skim through that. But let's read this footer right here. NB. The first column contains the dynasties of Manetho according to Africanus, the text of Dindorf. The names in paragraph included between the parentheses are variations which occur in the list of Scaliger. The third column contains the the dynasties according to Eusebius from the text of the editor of the Armenian, who for the most part has followed Gore. The variations are those of Scaliger. The fourth column is the Latin translation of Armenian, with the variations from the fragments of Old Latin versions of Hieronymus. Okay, so I'm not much of a linguist, unfortunately, but I am kind of interested. So I think we'll go here. Yeah, years. So Xanthothus reigned, I think, 53 years or something like that. He built the palaces at Memphis and left the anatomical books, for he was a physician. Interesting. Okay, so it was first Athothus and then Menes. Interesting. Okay. And this is according to the old Egyptian chronicle that was passed down, I guess, from Greek to Armenian to Latin. I don't know. Censenus, his son, reigned 31 years. Venephes, his son, reigned 23 years. In his time, a great plague raged through Egypt. He raised the pyramids near Kochom. No, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Eusephatus, his son, reigned 20 years. Meabitis, his son, 26 years. Semempses, his son, reigned 18 years. In his reign, a terrible pestilence afflicted Egypt. Bianaches, his son, reigned 26 years. The whole number of years amount to 253, and that is the end of the second dynasty of 9 Tainite kings for the second dynasty. And then, right here, I think it's this one. Boethus the first reigned 38 years. During his reign, a chasm of the earth opened near Bubastis, and many persons perished. Kychos reigned 39 years. Under him, the bulls Apis in Memphis and Nevis in Heliopolis and the Mendesian goat were appointed to be gods. The Apis bull and the Mendesian goat, huh? Interesting. That's really curious for me personally. I don't know. Is that like I'm kind of really curious into that. Is that like Akhenaten? Are we? I don't know what time period we'd be in at this point. I don't know if Second Dynasty or first Middle Kingdom. I don't think so. I could kind of look these up based on the old chronicle with the AI, but I feel like that's gonna consume a lot of time if I try to do that. I'm gonna just kind of go through this. Binothris reigned 47 years. In his time, it was determined that women might hold the imperial government. Plas reigned 17 years. Sephanes reigned 41 years. Caris reigned 17 years. Nefercheres reigned 25 years. In his time, it is said that the Nile flowed with honey during 11 days. Interesting. Sesostris, 48 years. His height was 5 cubits and breadth. I'm assuming that maybe he's a giant. I'm just really tall. Canaries, 30 years. Altogether, 302 years. So, I'm going to read this footer. Syncellus gives us the two following as from Eusebius, but there is much reason to suppose that they properly belong to the list of Africanus. And then I just get 3 palms. Dang. Maybe that's what it's referring to. I don't know. Okay, next page. Third dynasty of 9 Memphite kings. Necherophes reigned 28 years. In his time, the Libyans revolted from the Egyptians, but on account of an unexpected increase of the moon, they submitted through fear. The second is Tesothrus, reigned 29 years. He is called Asclepius by the Egyptians. For his medical knowledge, he built a house of hewn stones and greatly patronized literature. Tyrus reigned 7 years, Mesotris 17 years, Soiphus 16 years, Tosertasis 19 years, Achis 42 years, Sepphoris 30 years, Serphares 26 years, altogether 214 years for the third dynasty. And then there's the Armenian translations and whatnot. The fourth dynasty of 8 Memphite kings of a different race. Okay, so they're saying that this is people, where would they say these people are from? Source reigned 29 years. Sufus reigned 63 years. He built the largest pyramid, in which Herodotus says was constructed by Cheops. He was arrogant towards the gods and wrote the sacred book, which is regarded by the Egyptians as a work of great importance. Okay, so Sufus reigned 63 years. He built the largest pyramid, which Herodotus says was constructed by Cheops. I'm gonna look this up. I want to know who this is. This is interesting, actually. What is all this? Oh, it's not. Okay. Do we have any other modes with this thing? Reasoning, math, and code? No, I'll just try that one. I don't know. Okay, so we're looking up Sufus. Who is let's see here, Sufus. And this is according to the old Egyptian chronicles, so this stuff can't be like illegitimate or up for discussion, I guess. Who is Sufus of the fourth, let's see here, Egyptian dynasty? Sufus is the Greek name for the Egyptian pharaoh Khufu. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I'll give us a whole little demonstration of the pyramid. Yeah, this is all granite inside here. That's all like stone, but I don't think they built the pyramid. I'm just saying. I think this. If you look at the demeanor right here in this sentence, he was arrogant towards the gods and wrote the sacred book. You can tell right away that, you know, this guy probably wasn't trying to he was trying to rewrite something, and like, I don't know. It seems like in a spiritual sense, like he was probably not a good person, and this is probably where we get this confusion that he built the pyramids because he just assigned it to himself, possibly, more so to speak. But yeah, that's the Greek rendition of Khufu. He reigned 66 years. Mencheres, 63 years. Ratoses, 25 years. Baisharis, 22 years. Sebercharis, 7 years. Thamphis, 9 years. Altogether 284 years. The fifth dynasty of 9 Elephantine kings. Userchares reigned 28 years, or Userchares. Elephantine. I'm gonna look up who the Elephantine kings are. They said that the other dynasty, I think the fourth dynasty, were foreign. Was that correct? Hang on, I'm gonna go up real quick. I kind of want to actually like confirm that. Oh, look at that. So these are kings of a different race, and here they go saying that they're pissing off the gods and whatnot, making these like books and saying that they built the pyramids. Okay, so I guess that's interesting. Very, very curious to me, honestly. But let me see who these Elephantine kings are. I kind of want to know who these are. Who are the Elephantine kings of Egypt? Boy, he's taking a while to think. Maybe the Flash version is a little bit better. Okay, so let's see here. These kings ruled from Elephantine, a strategically, excuse me, I'm having some acid reflux. A strategically important island in the Nile at Aswan. It's an island in the Nile which marked the southern border of Egypt. However, archaeological evidence suggests that the primary royal palaces and administrative centers of the 5th dynasty remained at Memphis. And that, yeah, obviously. But the Elephantines kind of like started having more, I guess, like political influence. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's trying to explain to me that Memphis was still the capital, which is fair. Temples built by various pharaohs, rulers from numerous dynasties, constructions on the islands. This is just more like fluff, but okay, so this is kind of like in the middle, I guess, of Egypt, and it's in an island. Interesting. Okay, so I'll just keep that in mind. Let me scroll down because this is all Armenian. Is it this one? Sephris, 13 years. Nefercheres, 20 years. Siseres, 7 years. Sheres, 20 years. Raphthures, 44 years. Mencheres, 9 years. Tancheres, 44 years. Obnus, 33 years. Altogether, 248 years. So it doesn't say anything significant about them, to be honest. So there's probably just like a political, kind of like, I don't know, filler, so to speak. I don't know. The 6th dynasty of 6 Memphite kings. Okay, so they're going back to the capital. Othoes, who was killed by his guards, reigned 30 years. Dang, what happened? Phias reigned 53 years. Methusephus, 7 years. Phiops, who began to reign at 6 years of age, and reigned till he had completed his 100th year. So what, that's 94 years? Dang. Methusephus reigned 1 year. That's funny. Whoa, this is all blank. What's with all this? Curious. Okay, alright, well, that's interesting. Why is it not translated or put together? That's weird. This is all like blank right here. Well, maybe the formatting got all messed up or something. Okay, let's see, I'm gonna finish this off here. I think we'll finish on the 7th dynasty. So, let me read this one. Nitocris, who was the most handsome woman of her time, of a florid complexion, she built the 3rd pyramid and reigned 12 years, altogether 203 years. What 3rd pyramid? At Memphis? Is there a 3rd pyramid at Memphis? Are there pyramids at Memphis? And altogether it's 203 years. Okay, so we'll continue here in the 7th dynasty. And, well, actually, we'll continue on the 8th dynasty, because the 7th dynasty is only 70 days. 70 kings who reigned 70 days. Oh, that must be just like a... I think that's just like poetry for just like chaos or like unruliness for that span of time. So, I guess we'll just continue on the 8th dynasty, rather, since, yeah, there's nothing for the 7th.